And now for something completely different.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cinematic Relief. I'm Lightning of Thunder and Lightning. He loves to jump the gun, and today we're talking about Stranger Things. That over there is Thunder.
So far, I had to say nothing, so...
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about Season 3. I thought we were going to talk a second about how we're going to set this up. I'm just sitting over here having a sip of water. He starts talking. I look at the mixer. It's not on. So this show starts when I want it to.
Yeah.
It starts and stops when I say it does.
Yeah, what were you going to talk about before we started talking about it?
Just how we're going to do this structurally. Because we've never done a
between
series.
the two of us.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we just fucking go for it.
All right. Take it away.
Like it's a movie. Talk about what we like, what we didn't like.
Yeah.
Talk about how they should rename the show. You're going to watch this for Robin because she's the best character. I love Robin so much. Can you see why now?
Because she's a redhead.
What? No. She's not a redhead.
She's a lesbian.
Yeah, she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
I love lesbians. They're great. Let's talk about Stranger Things season 3. It was really good. It was very
good.
It was only 8 episodes.
It was short, but I didn't need any more.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. That always happens with Stranger Things. I see how many episodes it is. I'm like, oh man, everything else is like 10 or 13 episodes.
Yeah.
But then it's they do it. They like season 2 was 9 episodes, and I'm sure that was just because they had a story to tell.
Yeah.
And now that I'm thinking about it, it could have been 8. They could have cut out that one episode.
Right. No kidding.
But we're not talking about 2. We're talking about 3. 3 was really good. I think you and I agree, and I think a lot of people agree that this is the best one yet.
Oh yeah. What's your? I think we both have the same thing. Your order. I'd say 3, 1, 2.
I was gonna say 3, 2, 1.
Really? Okay.
One's really good, but I do like 2, and I've heard the complaints about 2, and I get it, but I really liked 2. I liked 2 a lot.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'd say they're just getting better and better.
Okay. Yeah, this season really did it for me. It hit all the 80s spots it should have.
And I'm not sure, like, obviously this was delayed. It was supposed to come out in October. They delayed it, like, half a year.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if that was because of special effects or because they wanted to, like, tell the story differently or something, but, like, whatever it was, it worked because this was a great season.
It also, it took place on the 4th of July.
Right,
And it came out on the 4th of July. I don't know if they were like, we're running a tad behind, let's just make it come out on the 4th and have it be
a period piece.
Yeah. Festive.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we can't both. I didn't even take a sip.
No, I there's a lot to ow.
Well, don't do that.
Ow, that hurt. No, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to digest. So immediately season 1 and season 2, there was a person they fucked with, right? And it was always Will.
Mm.
And immediately in this one, they answered my question of who are they going to fuck with, and they picked the perfect character.
Oh,
they
yeah.
picked Billy, the bully older brother.
Yeah.
And that just made so much sense to me.
And it took the strain off of Will. It would have been boring if it was another Will-based season.
Right, but it also, like, gave Will a purpose. Like, he wasn't the end game. He was, like, part of the solution.
Right.
Like, that's what I really liked about this season. It felt like everybody had their, like, job in the group, right? Like, Nancy does this, and Lucas? His name's Lucas, right?
Which one?
It's the kids' names. They're Mike, Will, Dustin, and Lucas.
I believe
right?
so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I always get Lucas's name confused. I want to call him Jacob for some reason. No, but, like, he had his job, and Will's job was essentially Harry Potter. He's like, I'm going to tell you when the monster's close by.
No, they really, more so than ever, ironically, because they're split up the entire season, they feel more like a team than ever.
Yeah.
And it feels like the team's grown exponentially.
Yeah.
Since, even since season 2. It really felt good. Everybody was officially good guys.
Yeah.
Who you wanted to be.
Right. It felt cool that like it felt like for the first time in 3 seasons when they all got together and it was like, all right, what's the plan? There was no conversation of like, well, this is weird because you're my older sister and we don't hang out. It was just like Stranger Things stuff is happening and we need to like, it was cool that It was cool that Murray was more of a main character. I did not expect that, but I really liked it.
Murray, I'm sorry.
The weird dude who's like, you revealed my location. I
Oh
live in
yeah.
a-"
Oh my
yeah.
God. He ended up being the best part of the second half of the season.
When he, and honestly, I don't know why. I don't know what made me think this, but like when he showed up, I was like, oh, really? You can't just have like a new character. You got to bring back this one. But like he
was the guy.
he was awesome. Yeah, it was just everything was awesome.
And
The
did-
new characters were awesome. What I didn't like was the sister, the little sister.
Yeah, you didn't like
I've
her.
never liked her. I could have done without her. She wasn't terrible in this season, but
Just
she
annoyed
was,
you a bit.
She's just, and it's intentional. Obviously, I feel like I'm supposed to be annoyed by her.
Well, it seems like so. I want to bring up something I was going to bring up later, but it makes sense now. Joe Keery's character.
Yeah,
Uh,
the child whisperer.
yeah, no kidding. Well, I was gonna say, it was interesting how, and I've said this to you, he's like the Vegeta of the series.
Yes, yeah.
Season 1, he was the bad guy, main bad guy, number 1, except for any paranormal stuff
Right,
that's going on.
he was the
the real life
the
antagonist.
human antagonist.
Yeah. Season 2, he's kind of neutral. He's we see
And
his
then
arc.
Frieza comes in,
Yeah.
and then you kind of have Vegeta versus Frieza for a bit
right.
in Steve versus Billy.
Right. And then he's just one of the good guys. He's
Yeah.
like so hard one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Like
No,
different
he's like
character.
undoubtedly one of the good
And
guys.
they-
So much so that when they all meet up, there's no like Nancy and Steve like, hey, remember we used to date? It's just like, no, we're doing Stranger Things stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I'm glad they acknowledged it too, through the character you like. She's like, you used to be a jerk, and he's like, yeah, I know, I'm not now though.
Yeah. It's like that. I always reference this.
The
but-
Iron Man scene.
No, it's like the Sonic comic where he's like, isn't that Shadow with you? And he's like, I thought he died. He's like, long story short, he's better now. No, what were you gonna say about Iron Man?
No, it was that reference was better than the
okay.
one I was gonna make. But he similar to her, I think she was super annoying this season. They ended the season with I loved that they were doing a donation box, which I mean, give or take, they didn't actually donate to people who need
Right.
things, but they're like, here's a bunch of nerdy stuff.
Oh yeah, and there
Embrace who
wasn't-
you actually are.
Right, and they didn't say that. I think
No.
that scene would have not hit as well if they like, hey, listen, this is Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Here's how you play. They
Yeah.
literally were just like, do with this what we expect you to do.
Exactly. I think we're gonna get an arc of her like next season. She'll probably be cooler.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, she'll definitely be older, which will play into her being less annoying.
Yeah, I really hope they don't take like 2 years again.
Well, they didn't this time. We got a delay. You
Yeah.
know, obviously it won't be this Halloween, but we'll probably get Stranger Things 4 next Halloween if Stranger Things 4 is to happen.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I heard somebody ask me, "Oh, this is the last season, right?" And I was like, "It better not be."
I didn't hear that.
No, it was somebody who doesn't watch it. But I was like, "What
Oh, okay.
secondhand information did you get?" Because I haven't heard
Right,
anything
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
They actually set it up beautifully for season 4.
whatever's going to come next.
Yeah.
Like, and you brought up a good point. If we can jump around between like plot points, like
yeah, sure.
because I didn't even think of this. You are convinced that Hopper is still alive.
Oh yeah, if anybody stuck around for the after the credit scene, which I almost didn't. There's never been an after the credit scene on Stranger
Netflix
Things.
didn't stop. Usually Netflix. Do you watch Netflix on the television?
Yeah,
Usually Netflix will.
it'll cut out.
It'll be like, watch Arrested Development. Here's the trailer. It's going to happen in 19 seconds.
right,
but
right,
it didn't.
right.
And I was like, I'm supposed to watch the credits? Okay, I'll do it. And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh my God, there's more show.
You know why I actually fast forwarded. The credits started and I fast forwarded.
Oh, okay.
And you know why? There was no cliffhanger.
Oh, you
They
expected
end
it. Yeah.
every episode, even the season
That's where-
finale, on a cliffhanger.
That's where I was the whole time they were packing up. I was like, no cliffhanger, huh? This is just
I
it.
refused to believe it, so I and I was like, "Well, wouldn't you look at that?"
Yeah. No, the after the credits scene comes like very shortly into the credits, but
Yeah.
I was like so suspiciously like, Netflix didn't stop. Netflix usually stops. There's got to be more show. And that it was really interesting cuz like I thought, because the show told me that if they close the gate, nothing can survive
Yeah.
on our side. But they clearly had a Demigorgon from season 1.
Oh yeah. Well, no. Well, you were getting a point. So I mentioned.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No. It's fine. Just to get back to the reason we brought up the end credit scene. We're at a Russian base and they're feeding people to a Demogorgon.
Yeah.
And as they're walking by, it was real nonchalant. A guard goes to open a door, and the other one pushes him along and says, "Not the American."
Mm.
And to me, that says somebody grabbed Hopper before the explosion or something like that.
See,
And they took him.
I'm thinking that maybe there's a two-way gate scenario where
Yeah,
they
that would
send
make
someone
sense.
through that gate and it ends up in the Russian gate, so that's where Hopper ended up, and that's
Right.
why maybe that Demigorgon is the same Demigorgon from season 1.
That could be the case. Well, what's interesting in that to support that theory is I didn't and still don't quite understand the Russians.
Plan?
Yeah, like
Why
what
they were
was
doing
their
that?
motivation? Why are you opening this? Why is it in America? And their whole thing is like, well, this is where it's weak. They never said like what the end goal was, what the objective
Right.
was.
Do you
I
think that was intentional?
Well, I think you kind of hit a good nerve of what if this is their plan to invade America? What if it's like a teleportation, like we're in
Oh.
Russia, we're just gonna sneak into America through this gate through a different dimension,
Right.
back into our dimension, but on U.S. soil.
Because it is 1985.
Right. Oh no, it fits in perfectly. By the way, those the army suits, like I loved GoldenEye 007,
Yeah.
and he fights like the Russians, and it's the same time period, and the suits were the same. That really got me.
Oh yeah.
And like
No,
it was
hi-
very 007-y that down, in the bunker.
The
deal.
historical accuracy is really good. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
prevalent in this
in this season.
season,
Yeah.
especially in the mall with all the old
Mm.
shops and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I love that old-fashioned Burger King logo,
Yeah.
and now real-life Burger King has been utilizing the logo, which is cool.
Can we talk about this bullshit ass Burger King shit?
Well, can we talk about what we talked about? Because it was kind of perfect.
Sure,
The
yeah, go
the
for
meta
it.
joke that I think might be happening with the advertisement.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay, so there's a lot of Coke and a lot of Burger King products in this, and obviously it's because Coke and Burger King were
Brand
sponsors
deals, yeah.
But they're not even tastefully put in. They're
No.
very obvious. There's literally a Coke commercial.
Yeah, yeah.
With
They should just air that on TV, where Lucas is like, "Nah, I drink Coke," and Mike's like, "Coke's disgusting."
well,
and Lucas
it's
is
New
like,
Coke.
"Yeah, what is New Coke?"
New Coke was a product in the 80s where they redid the formula and everybody hated it, so they went back to the classic Coke formula.
Oh, so what do we have? We have classic Coke
we have
now?
classic Coke. We have regular old classic Coke minus the cocaine.
I forgot about that bit of history.
But so in the 80s, they made New Coke. Apparently, because of Stranger Things, they're whipping out New Coke again because the few weirdos like him enjoyed New Coke.
Yeah.
But that was the joke, but you had a good point. It's like, wow, look at this Coke commercial.
It literally looks like the way it was cut, the way it was framed, it looks like they filmed that so they could show it on TV
Oh, yeah.
in between shows. I was like,
And there's shots where they're sneaking around corners and just big orange Burger King logo in the background. There's a shot of Hopper getting out of the car. The whole shot is just his face with a Burger King bag in his mouth. And my theory was because it was just so blatant. It was just so like, we get it.
yeah.
Coke, Burger King. That was a huge thing in the 80s to do if you had sponsors, was to just be obnoxious about it.
Yeah.
I'm curious if it was a meta joke.
Of like, yeah, this show was obviously made in 2018, but
It's supposed,
it's supposed
to
to
be
be in the
80s.
80s. So
Yeah.
No, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't draw too much attention to it, but it was enough for me to
But
be
there
like,
was clearly enough scenes
Oh,
where
yeah.
two characters are talking, and I was like, I can't hear them over that Burger King sign.
No, exactly. And it's funny because, like I said to you, I wonder if the Duffer Brothers are upset because Burger King didn't quite follow up that well on their end of the bargain
Yeah.
with the upside down Whopper.
Which is, As near as I could tell, unfortunately, just they make a Whopper the same way they've been making it for the last 60 years, and then they flip it upside down, and then they serve it to you.
Yeah.
And when you eat it right side up, because why would you open it upside down? How are they going to force me to open it upside down if it's wrapped in paper?
I think we have to try one.
We have to. We have to buy this.
And,
It's going to be
and like I
$9.
said, well, I was just gonna say, if it's any different than the Whopper price, the regular Whopper price, and all it is a Whopper flipped upside down, I'm asking for the difference. I'm going back up there and I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this is a Whopper, and they're gonna say it's an upside down Whopper, and I'm gonna say now it's a Whopper. I'm gonna flip it over.
No, we gotta like we'll go to Burger King, and even though neither of us like Whoppers, one of us will get a regular Whopper, and one of us will get an upside down one, and we'll just see what the fuck the difference.
Yeah,
We'll cut
yeah.
them in half, and
Yeah.
and both have.
I don't mind Whoppers. I've just had a bad experience with a Whopper lately.
They're just not my favorite. Like if I go to Burger King, there's
Oh yeah, like
a
I
bunch
said,
of
yeah,
other
yeah.
things
There's,
I'd rather
there's
get.
a lot of good stuff. I like just the regular cheeseburgers at Burger King personally, but
Yeah, no, honestly, out of the three, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King's probably my favorite. But like, I don't normally get the Whopper. But anyways, I will now that Stranger Things told me to.
they did. They had the Russians inserted into your mind.
No, it was really good. You were talking about how you really liked and were sad when Alexei died.
Yeah, Alexei. That he was just a good character. He finally got his moment of like, I like America,
Yeah.
and then it's like, well, America's gonna shoot you in the face. It was actually a Russian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he just, I wasn't expecting that. And I was fine, because I did not like him up until, like, the few minutes where I started to like him.
Yeah.
And it was just a huge 180. I didn't like him, liked him a lot, and then he was dead.
Yeah. Yeah. He told him to wait in the car.
He did. He really did. But, see, what's interesting with that thought is, what if he went to the car first, and what if he would have just killed them both?
No, yeah, there's that.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he did just say wait in the car. And I don't know if you noticed, he won the
Woody
woodpecker.
Woodpecker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's yelling over to him, and he's like dancing with the corn dogs. Did you notice while the guy, and then like there's the slow-mo shot of the guy with the gun, and it's
Yeah.
going up, and I'm like, oh no, Alexei's dying, and in the background he's just slow-mo dancing with
Yeah.
2 corn dogs in his hand, and I was like, I have so many mixed emotions with this scene.
It's like one of those things where you're watching and you're like, I would laugh,
Yeah.
but I don't think I should.
It was almost like he wasn't supposed to be in the shot.
Yeah. 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 The special effects were really good this
Yeah,
season.
very good.
I felt like they were good before, but like I really felt like they gave Stranger Things like all the money they requested
Oh yeah.
to make this thing, because the villain was essentially the same villain as last time, except instead of a smoke monster, it's a flesh,
It was a meat monster.
a meat goop flesh thing, and it looked crazy. It looked
Yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
and I can only assume that none of those fireworks were real when they were throwing fireworks
Right.
at him, and it just looked incredible. It was like the best special effects I've seen from Netflix.
Oh yeah. Stranger Things never did practical effects that much, right? Season 1 wasn't the Demogorgon wasn't practical, right?
no.
Yeah.
No.
Then they did a really good job. See, I would have been upset if they switched from practical to CGI.
On
But,
the Demogorgon, if he was practical before.
Right, but it just always looked good.
Yeah.
So no, I mean it looks consistent. It looks better, but it looks consistent. Sometimes if a show's budget gets too big, it kind of takes me out of it, because I'm like, well, that didn't look that good before,
Yeah.
and now it looks really good. But no, they did a really good job there. There's the hallway they're walking down
Yeah.
in the elevator. It's like pillar, gap, pillar. That's just
Okay.
like the layout of it.
Yeah.
There's like, they're talking and they're walking, and there's just this gap, and like they're getting closer to it. Scene cut back to that scene, and they're still getting closer to it. And like obviously that's just how it's set up, but it looks like they're taking forever to get to this one gap in the hallway.
Oh,
And the whole scene, I was just watching that. I was like, are they ever gonna get to it? And then they did, and like I had a moment of like, all right, they got past that gap. It was just weird.
in that scene, Robin lays down like some super hardcore cyborg lore. Did you
really?
pick up on that?
Oh yeah. That's right.
Dustin mentioned a material, and he was like, "What's that?" And she was like, "It's the thing that's Victor Stone's dad put in him to make him cyborg." I was like, "I mean, yeah, yeah, that was crazy."
Yeah. And then the little girl was like, "Nerds, nerds." You gotta put that scene in from Revenge of the Nerds for me.
Okay. I've seen Revenge of the Nerds.
Have you?
Yeah, I've seen the first two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like them for what they were. They definitely some things didn't age well.
No.
People
like the the sexual
Yeah,
harassment
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. people crucify those films, but it wasn't that bad.
Okay, now that we're talking about this, I have a little bit of a tangent. Okay, you know Get Out, the movie Get Out.
Yes.
The Jordan Peele flick.
Yeah.
You know the dad,
Okay.
the racist dad in Get Out.
Yes. I'm sorry. I saw Get Out and Us like right after each other. So
Get Out is the one where they, spoiler alert, put their
right. That's
brains
that
into
one. Yes.
black people.
Yes.
That's the whole. So the racist dad in that one,
Yeah.
the daughter's dad, he is the main antagonist in Revenge of the Nerds 2.
okay.
The other day, I was talking with my parents about Get Out, and I referenced that guy as the guy from Revenge of the Nerds, and they were like, that guy was not in Revenge of the Nerds. And I was like, he was. And they were like, absolutely not. He was definitely not in Revenge of the Nerds. And I looked it up, and I was like, it says right here he was in Revenge of the Nerds 2. And my parents were like, well, not the second one. The second one sucks. We're talking about the first one. I was like, there's 4 Revenge of the Nerds films. Why would you assume I was just talking about only the first one? And why would you outright deny the fact that this guy touched any of those films?
I mean, yeah. A lot of people just like the first one. I don't know. I thought they were cute. There's definitely, like I said, they didn't age well. I probably wouldn't have my kids watch them or whatever.
No. I watched them, I forget why, but one of the clubs I was in college was watching them.
But, oh,
so
okay.
I went to that.
I don't know. I feel like I'm adult enough to just, accept the fact that that was a different time and appreciate certain parts of that movie for what they were.
Yeah.
But that's not the movie we're talking about.
No.
We're talking about Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man was so good. No, it was really good. It was there was a lot to like. There was not a lot to not like.
No.
I mean, I did. I don't know. I liked the chemistry between Hopper and Joyce. It finally feel like
Yep.
it climaxed into like these two are just like a team now.
Yeah.
And that was prevalent from moment one of them being on screen together. I don't think they, other than the packing scene because he was dead, I don't think there was a scene that they didn't share together.
Oh, I know.
I think they were always on camera together.
Yeah. By the way, I thought it was interesting. Nobody talked about it, and I thought it was going to be prevalent in the season. When they met up with Murray, I was like, oh, her son found love and had sex in this guy's house.
Mhm.
That's the only time we've ever seen him. Is that going to get brought up?
Oh.
Because it's just weird that the next time we see this character, it's with that kid's mom
Yeah.
and her love interest.
Yeah. No, I mean the fact that Nancy and Jonathan are going out isn't really a secret anymore. So
No. It's not a secret. It's just weird. Like it was just
this weird
a
guy
weird
would have
connection.
brought that up.
Right.
You think?
Right. Not only that, but the parallels to
Right.
it was him. Now it's his mom and
Right.
his love interest, her love interest. They got together at his place, and that was weird because he was like, "Do it
Yeah.
in my house right now," and then I'm gonna go to bed. It was just weird.
Yeah.
That whole scene in season 2 was weird.
Yeah.
And then the whole deal with and it got brought up. He was like, "Well, why don't you two just do it already?" And I was like, "Well, say it, like I told your son, say it."
Yeah. So you brought up something that I guess didn't put two and two together. Billy is obviously dead, but everyone else is dead. Everyone who gooped into the mind flayer is totally dead.
I mean, they melted down, became a part of his body. Now his body's dead. In the they had a whole newsreel at the end of Satan Town, USA, Hawkins. Which, can't blame him at this point. I'm glad somebody's acknowledging it.
Also, was that news scene supposed to tell me that Nancy did, in fact, go to a big-time TV station with the story of Hawkins?
That's a good question. There's probably a little Easter egg in there that says, by Nancy, I almost said Nancy Drew because that's what they refer to her as. That's not her name. But it says, 30 dead in mall fire, and I was like, that's not how it happened.
That, yeah. That whole there's not gonna be any and this is a good thing. There's what's her name? Heather, the girl, the other lifeguard.
Yeah.
Her and her entire family died, so there's not gonna be any
no
what do
backlash.
We do? Yeah. No, there's not gonna be like the scene from 2 where they're having dinner with Barbara's parents.
Right. Just
there's
that
gonna
awkward
be
scene.
There's gonna be none of that. It's just gonna be oh well.
Here's the thing though, Stranger Things has always been weird with death. I didn't know Barbara was dead until they confirmed it in the next season for me.
But she said she was dead.
In season 1?
Yeah, 11 finds her in the whatever you call that.
Right, but it could. I don't know. Even then, I feel like 11 didn't come straight out and say she was dead.
She does though.
Are you sure? She says the words "Barbara's dead."
Yeah, she says I found her. She's dead.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I remember that because Nancy has no reaction, and that's the funny part. How they're
right?
Just like,
no, you're right. You're right. I guess what I meant was it wasn't a big deal until it was in season 2.
Right.
I think that's the point I was trying to get across.
No, she was definitely confirmed dead in season 1, but nobody gave a shit.
Right.
I think that's why that scene existed in season 2, because they were like, we forgot to make anyone give a shit
right.
about
Barbara. But they kind of did it again. My point being was, I guess what I meant was, I didn't care until season 2, or I didn't acknowledge it until season 2 because nobody else did. In this one, an entire hospital dies. A bunch of townsfolk, and they get a little blip that if you blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
At the end of the season.
And I feel like with Stranger Things tradition, next season's going to pick up 2 years from now, and no one's going to care about that anymore.
Maybe we'll get a shot of Billy's parents, his dad
there's gotta be
being upset that he was a jerk to his son.
There's gotta be some
That's what I'm saying though. Death means nothing to the Stranger Things
No, but
universe.
you bring up a good point with Billy specifically. There's gotta be either I was so bad to my son, or the flip of that, which is well, he's dead now. I'm gonna hit my daughter.
Right. There's got to be something with Billy.
Yeah.
There should be something about that mass murder. But there probably won't be. Some of those hospital people weren't part of the goop. They're just dead.
Right. Yeah.
But
no, there's always ever since the beginning of season 2, because season 1 was just so fucking good, there's always a fear of are the new characters going to be good? And I think this time all the new characters were not only good, but made the series that much better. The mayor was great.
Mm-hmm.
The Russian was great. Robin was great. Heather was great. The only character that wasn't great was Jake Busey's character, but he wasn't supposed to be great. He was an asshole, and he played that role pretty well.
And like we said, they know the mistakes they made, and they kept any crappy characters from season 2 completely. That was what made the season was. To me, season 2 gets a little weird. It gets a little off the rails, and it loses me a bit. There was none of that this season. It was one continuous story like season 1, and that's what I loved about Stranger Things.
I mean, that's part of the reason why I watched it in one day, because I was just if I stop, I got to episode 4 or 5, and I was if I stop now, I'm in the middle of a, I just want to finish it.
Yeah.
I just want to see the end of this story.
No, it's fair. That's the, the classic Stranger Things thing is, every episode ends and you're but now I gotta watch the next one.
Yeah.
to see what happens.
Something I noticed that I'm sure other people have noticed, and it's not even a big deal, but I just didn't put two and two together until this season, is that it looks like in order for 11 to use her powers, she has to put her hands out. Like, she can't
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
didn't notice
use...
that till this season either.
Okay, good. I'm not alone. She can't just use her mind like Matilda can. She has to, like...
She did, though, in the first episode. She shut the fan off while eating ice cream.
You're right, she did.
Yeah.
In the diner.
Maybe it's the old, like, Superman with his hands while he's flying. Like, maybe this just gives her a little more...
Maybe.
oomph.
But there was a scene where a tentacle came at her and she was like, I grabbed tentacle with hand.
Right.
And then another tentacle came at her and she was like, I grabbed tentacle with other hand. I was like, there better not be a third tentacle.
That was my thought, too, watching that. I was like, well, what are we going to do with third tentacle? No, I think hand being pushed out just means she's giving it her all.
Yeah.
Her finishing move.
Dude, tell me about it.
How weird is it? What's the deal with her loss of powers? It clearly has something to do with that little, like, bug that was in her. The piece of the antenna.
Yeah, that was really...
Tentacle, sorry.
Yeah. You say antenna?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
meant tentacle.
No, that was really weird because they made it look like we took the bug out, she lost her powers,
Yeah.
but, like, that bug...
That's not how that works. She has psychic powers. That bug isn't going to suck the psychic out of her.
Well, that also, the bug wasn't a source of her psychic powers because
No.
that bug was in her for like maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't have to do with the gate closing because the gate has been closed before.
Oh, yeah.
She did it herself.
Yeah. No, I think whatever it did, whatever it poisoned her with, like, numbed her powers for a little bit.
I bet you it's going to start to wear off episode 1 of season 4.
Yeah. No, sure. Or we go the whole season with just they got to fight on their own.
And then in the climax,
she gets them back.
back.
Yeah. Because that would be cool, because they're one out. Their ace in the hole is, yeah, but we have the one superhero that exists. Or the 11th. Who knows? We'll never know, because they're probably not going to mention that again.
Yeah. No, that had season 2 had such a promising B plot. It's like, you know how her name's 11? Well, there's 10 others of them, and they all have superpowers. What if? But then they just flubbed it.
Yeah. But they learned, you know?
Yeah.
They got past that. But I think it'd be interesting to see just a normal... You brought up an interesting idea, and I haven't stopped thinking about it while I was watching it.
Okay.
No Paranormal Activity season of Stranger Things where they're all just kids
Oh, yeah.
for the summer.
No, that's what the first couple episodes of this season was at first.
Yeah. I'd be so down for that.
I would love... Like, they talked about Christmas. Like, I would love a Stranger Things Christmas special where nothing weird happens.
Yeah.
Where it's just the kids being kids, like, celebrating a holiday or something.
Yeah. No, that would be fantastic. Well, the interesting thing about that idea is they talked about holidays in the last episode.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you brought it up.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They talk about, they literally,
Thanksgiving
like, one
and
of the last lines
Christmas.
is like, yeah, what if we met up for Thanksgiving and Christmas? And I was like, yeah, and then nothing weird happened? And then nothing weird happened, right? That's what you were going to say next?
Yeah. I'd like that. And see, you do that, right? You do that, and you have another end credit scene, and it gives us a little bit more of a sneak peek with whatever was happening in Russia.
Right. And then
Maybe we see Hopper's eyes in like, you know, there's the slit in the door,
yeah.
and he just, like,
Yeah.
who's there?
Did you hear about the smoking backlash that Netflix is getting?
No.
Yeah, so like 2 days before Stranger Things 3 dropped, I forget what organization it was, but like someone like Netflix is being called out for too much depictions of cigarette smoking in their original programming, and the biggest the biggest one that does that is Stranger Things, because they literally some fucking nerd sat there with a calculator and a notebook, but like there's like over like 130 depictions of smoking in season 1 alone or something like that.
It's the 80s.
No, I know, but they're gonna. I guess Netflix is like, you know, Netflix the ever like, oh, we got to do what everyone wants and make good decisions. They're gonna be like, no, after Stranger Things season 3, we're gonna cool it.
Okay.
Because
I
I guess it's not just Stranger Things. It's like it's Narcos and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, other
Yeah.
stuff. Like a bunch of Netflix stuff has smoking, and some bunch of narcs were like, "There's too much smoking."
Well, here's the beauty with Netflix and HBO, and what kind of pisses me off with this guy is they're not like it's not governed like TV.
Right.
If you're so upset over the smoking on Netflix, don't watch it.
right, that's the
We
thing.
have censored television.
Yeah,
Don't venture further than what your government controls if you're that upset about it.
right.
I think it's beautiful that we have HBO in all these private
These, like,
company
secondary
enterprises.
like television
Yeah.
channels where we can like
Do-
show
yeah.
nudity and swear and do whatever we
Exactly.
want, and no one's gonna yell at us. But now
'Cause-
people are yelling at us.
That's my point. Is the government doesn't control Netflix, neither does that little pissant. And if you're that much of a prude that it upsets you that they're smoking because it's a
Biopic.
time period piece,
yeah,
then don't watch it.
yeah.
Because guess what?
Ow.
Beyond the smoking, there's a ton of swearing. There's a ton of sexual innuendos. There's a ton of nonsense. But it's
Ton
on
of
Netflix.
violence.
There's a ton of violence. But it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Viewer discretion advised. Like you're off the deep end.
Yeah. Did you notice that every single episode of Stranger Things started with in the left? It wasn't in
Yes, the strobe.
Yeah,
There's
it
only
wasn't.
one episode that bothered me. It was them in the hospital.
Yeah.
I had to stop watching for a second.
It wasn't in the show, but Netflix had an overlay that was like photosensitive.
Yeah.
Epileptic seizures be warned, and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, that was really
because
cool.
you need that.
Oh, absolutely. There was only one episode that I noticed, and it even got to
Well,
me.
there's also the fireworks.
True, the fireworks. Yeah.
People with severe epilepsy have a real big issue with fireworks, and the whole like third act, if you will, of this television show was firework based.
Right. Which did nothing. It saved him time. It brought
Right?
him
No,
time,
it
but
did exactly what Lucas said it would do. It was a distraction.
Yeah.
Did no damage.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't think of it, but I feel like there's a video game where you can fight with fireworks, but it also does that. It's like, what did you think it was going to do? It's a
Right,
firework. It does
right.
no damage. It's just bright.
Um.
No, but I like how, and I talked about this a little before, it really feels like everybody on the team has their own, like, job. Like, even before the last, when they all get together, the parents, the B team, the A team, they're all in the mall, and they're like, here's the plan.
Yeah.
And they, like, then they, like, do all have jobs. But, like, even before that, it's like, Will is the lookout with his neck thing, how he can tell where they are. And, like, Mike is the, like, the voice of reason usually, and Dustin is the like tech guy where it's like, what if we did all this? And
Yeah.
and like Will Will and Dustin kind of are like the ones who have like the knowledge of D&D, how it's like, oh my god, you see all the parallels between
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons and what's happening in Hawkins. And like Nancy and John, it's just like they all have their own like job, and I felt that more in this one. They, like you said, they felt like a really like tight-knit team even when they were not physically together.
Yeah.
It felt like they were like doing their part.
I hope that stays. If and when season 4 comes out, I hope we get a continuation of season 3, set up and all. It was really well done.
Yeah. Well, now I really don't know what season 4 is going to look like because the group is literally split up.
Right. Well,
Will,
I think it could make it interesting. I wish we knew how far he was moving.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. Because if Stranger Things 4 starts to pop off and Mike's like, we need you, and they're just like in a half hour away, it's like, oh well.
Yeah.
But if they're halfway across the country and it's like,
Forget
oh,
it.
we can't participate this time in
Well,
Stranger Things.
what would be interesting is we now have that, and I think this might have been intentional. It did play a role in this season, but it might play a role beyond that, is the satellite. That can pick up to Utah. We know where Hawkins is. I can't remember the state.
Illinois? Isn't it?
Illinois.
No, it's not Illinois. Indiana. Hawkins, Indiana.
Hawkins, Indiana to Utah. I'm not a good enough geographer to know, how far that is. But if they're in a circle radius of between Indiana to Utah, wherever the buyers move, they could use they could
Yeah.
be in constant contact with each other.
You brought up Utah because that's where Susie lives?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay. I
They
was
could-
like, what is he?
No, my point is they could be in contact with each other. So when things start up, it might be interesting if the buyers, like the few episodes, is the buyers and Elle making their way to Hawkins to, partake in whatever's happening.
Yeah. No, it should be interesting.
Or it could just happen at Christmas and be convenient.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's also that. It depends on how quick of a turnaround they want on season 4, and if I know Netflix, it's not quick at all.
No.
Take your time. Are we gonna get another season of Beyond Stranger Things?
Oh yeah, that's right. I never really watched too much of it, but I remember it being interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to find out.
Yeah. I can only assume that'll drop in a few days. You wanna podcast within a podcast?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. Ba-doop, boop, boop. He wrote a review, and he wrote some more, and he wrote too many. It's Roger Ebert Reviews. Welcome to Roger Ebert's Critic Corner, a podcast within a podcast. I'm your host, Anthony, and joining me today, not as always, the bit is it's a new guest every time, is Lightning from the popular web show Thunder Lightning Gaming.
Hello.
What do you think I got?
What
What movie do you think I got?
E.T.
Nah. That would be good. No, I got Back to the Future because
that's a good pick.
They
yeah.
watch it in this.
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
show.
No,
So-
good pick.
Here's an interesting thing. This one's really short because there's missing text. Did Roger Ebert maybe write these for a newspaper and then they were brought over to this website?
The sacred text. That would make sense.
One of the things all teenagers believe is that their
No. You got to give us the rating.
Oh, sorry. So sorry. 3.5 out of 4.
Okay.
1985. July 3rd. Wow. July 3rd, 1985.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. One of the things all teenagers believe is that their parents were never teenagers. Their parents were perhaps children once. They are undeniably adults now. No period on this next sentence. I mean, no capital letter. But how could they have ever been teenagers and yet not understand their own children? This is where the missing text is. But Back to the Future. So this jumps ahead, but I don't have the text. But Back to the Future is even more helpful. It argues that you can travel back in time to the years when your parents were teenagers and straighten them out right at the moment when they needed help the most. He talks about... This one's really short. He talks about plot for a bit. Yeah, this is all plot. Plot. DeLorean is 2 words. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No.
It's DeLorean. I didn't know that. That means like of Lorian, whatever Lorian means. That's more plot. One of the running gags in Back to the Future is the way the town has changed in 30 years. For example, the porno house in 1985 was playing a Ronald Reagan movie in 1955. But a lot of the differences run more deeply than that, as Marty discovers when he sits down at a lunch counter next to his dad, who is, of course, a teenager himself. Because the movie is so much fun with the paradoxes and predicaments of a kid meeting their own parents. I won't discuss the plot in any detail. You already did for 2 paragraphs, my guy. I won't discuss the plot in any detail. I won't even get into the horrifying moment when Marty discovers his mother has the hots for him. The movie's surprises are one of its great pleasures. And then it's just this, and then that's it. Back to the Future was directed by Robert Zemeckis, who shows not only a fine comic touch, but also some of the lighthearted humanism of Frank Capra. The movie, in fact, resembles Capra's It's a Wonderful Life more than other conventional time travel movies. Once again, he always has to compare it. He can never just have an experience. It's about a character who begins with one view of his life and reality and is allowed through magical intervention to discover another. Steven Spielberg was the executive producer of this, and he did other films that summer. And maybe it's time to wonder if Spielberg is emulating the great studio chiefs of the past who specialized in matching the right director with the right project. This time, the match works with charm, brains, and a lot of laughter. That's literally the whole review.
That, not your fault at all. That was boring.
Yeah, right?
That didn't even really tell me if you liked it or not, which I
You
guess
get that
is
from the
sometimes-
stars.
Yeah. Sometimes if there's one thing Ebert could do, it's take a little bit of his own self-opinion out of every review he does.
Yeah. So I've never seen It's a Wonderful Life. Is that a time travel movie?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, once again, he compared it to something else, like he always does. There's really not much to go on with that one.
because he didn't crap on it. It was
No.
just boring.
Well, he didn't crap on it, but he didn't also overly love it.
No, he explained it, and then that was it.
Yeah. He didn't even tell me if I should go see it or not. He's usually like, to this group of people, I
To
recommend
the
it.
idiots in the audience, go check it out. That's usually what I get out
But
of
to
it.
the overly educated, say bye-bye, idiot. I'm old. Did you know
Jeez.
I'm old? Because I keep forgetting. Back to the
I
Future's
want to
good.
see his review of Citizen Kane and how much he loved it.
When did Citizen Kane come out? Like ballpark? Like 60s, 50s?
I'd say the 60s, but I could be completely wrong.
Okay, I mean that's more closer to when he was young and movies were fresh.
Oh, that's
you
what
know?
I'm saying. Oh, it was probably the first movie he ever reviewed.
Someday we'll look up Ebert's review of Citizen Kane. Someday we'll look up Ebert's legendary review of Rugrats Go Wild. I was gonna do. I wanted to theme it with Stranger Things, like I always like to theme it. I was gonna do Neverending Story, but I started to glimpse at the review, and I was just like, I've never fucking seen this film. So I found Back to the Future. I was like, this is good, probably.
I loved that song, though.
Oh yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, I just can't believe she was real.
I know.
I really thought the joke was gonna be like culminate in him breaking down and being like, "She's not real, okay?"
Yeah.
I lied, but she was totally
Oh,
real,
yeah.
and she was just as weird as he is. So what's the deal with his teeth? He has like a weird.
It's real.
No, I know, but he's like.
It's cranial something or other. It's his bones either don't grow or aren't there. From my understanding, I didn't realize this till this season. I can only imagine this is true because this actor actually has this issue. But he said he doesn't have collarbones,
Oh yeah,
and I was like, "What? You just are missing bones." That's what I'm getting from
right.
this.
That's no. They said that like we were supposed to know it already.
Yeah.
They were like, Steve literally looked at the camera and was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. He's missing bones and can fit into small space."
Which I can only imagine is true because I doubt this actor would. I mean, I know he's a kid, but I feel like he has enough self-respect for. Because I've seen him do an interview and be like, I'm very happy somebody with my condition can like show other people that we can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I feel like he'd have enough self-respect to be like, that's not true. I'm not going to say that that's not true.
Yeah. So he's just never gonna have those teeth as long as he lives.
That's my understanding, but I don't know anything about it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
look it up if you want. I could be completely wrong. I think Kevin from The Office has it too.
Okay.
That's just speculation.
Oh, okay.
That's my own personal speculation because they kind of have the same weird like, not weird, but like the same mouth formation.
Okay.
I noticed
Kevin being the dude
the bald guy,
with the
bigger
band,
guy.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen very
Kevin
little.
Malone.
Seen very little of that show, but I did see all the Jim and Pam wedding stuff,
Okay.
like the lead up to it and the whole.
Yeah. That's a good
I actually,
part.
you know what? I watched The Office from when they got engaged to when they just had the baby.
Okay.
That's what I've seen of The Office.
Okay. Weird place to.
No,
like,
yeah.
get in.
I fucking love this. This is not about Stranger Things at all, but there's a scene where fucking Steve Carell's character, Michael, he's like being super extra like he always is. It's the scene where they're all trying to get to the hospital and
Yeah.
Wayne Wilson's like throwing like morning stars out of his
Yeah.
window and she's having the baby, not giving it. She's having the baby and he's not allowed in the room
Yeah.
because why would he be? But he's just like listening into the door, and then as soon as you hear the baby like start crying, he just like starts smiling and looking at the camera, and then it cuts to him standing in the same exact spot, but it's in like interview mode, and he's
Yeah.
smoking a huge
Yeah.
cigar, and he's just like, "Nah, baby, see?" And then a male nurse comes by, and he's like, "You can't have that." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Put that out right now." He was like, "Okay, I'll do it." It's so funny the way that nurse says that always gets me.
That is a good scene. My favorite scene of Stranger Things season 3. But no, I mean, I think that about wraps it up for Stranger
Oh,
Things.
I did have a question.
Sure, shoot.
wasn't being gay like a big deal back then in the 80s?
I mean, I'm an outsider looking in anyways.
Yeah.
I myself am not gay.
Right.
What? What? Listening to you all this time, I can only imagine. I mean, to me, I don't know. People were not as politically correct in the 80s as they are now, and probably
Right.
not nearly as understanding. So I can only imagine that'd be a lot tougher back then.
Yeah.
Than
What
it
I
is
was getting
now.
at is I feel like Steve had a very
Oh, he had a very calm
2019
reaction.
response
Oh, I
of
know.
like, oh,
I
okay.
thought that too. He was instantly took in the information and was like, okay,
Right. It took him a second to understand it because it's
Right.
the 80s and not many,
right.
But
Especially women. I feel like women were more repressed
Right,
than
yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
Like he was not expecting
yeah.
her
No one was.
to yeah.
But then he was just like, oh, okay. And then he went immediately into like
No, I also thought that was the one thing that was
a little anachronistic.
yeah. I liked it.
No, it was
But,
cool. Good for that character.
Yeah.
Good for both of those characters.
It's just a
but-
little unrealistic,
yeah.
maybe. Even if he was cool with it, it was just a very like I have no questions.
yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like I feel like people weren't as understanding of situations like that.
Yeah, no, I expected
in the
because it
80s.
was in the heat of the moment, like all the bullshit happening.
Yeah.
So I expected a scene where it cuts back to them and he's just like, "So no dudes, just women," or something like that.
Yeah. No, he just took it in and accepted it.
Oh my
Um,
god, how did you like? One of my favorite movies is the Star Wars one with the teddy bears.
Oh, that was you know what? In my head, I was watching it alone. I almost said it out loud. When he said that, I almost said "me too," because it is.
yeah,
He said that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I love Return to the Jedi."
that guy they were talking to, the Blockbuster dude. I'm
Yeah.
assuming where they were at Blockbuster. He's in like every commercial ever.
Oh, I know. And he was in the series of unfortunate events
was
series. Yeah, they made him like gender neutral in that show,
Okay.
and it was kind of an ongoing joke. He's clearly a guy.
Oh well, yeah.
But in the show, they were like, "Is he a guy? Is he a girl?" And I'm like,
In-
"It's a guy."
In series of unfortunate
Yeah.
events. Oh, okay. Also, the cop, his like two cop buddies that he has. One's African American, one's white.
Yes, you're talking Hopper.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Um.
only saw the white one for like a second.
Yeah. The scene where he was like yelling at them. Like,
Yeah.
What the heck
Yeah.
happened? Yeah. No, the African American one is like a Netflix actor. Like
Okay.
He plays in the Marvel shows. He plays Turk Barrett, an arms dealer who appears in every single season of this the Marvel shows,
Okay.
except the new Jessica Jones. He wasn't in that.
Oh, weird.
Um,
I mean, I don't think he was in this either.
no, he was for a second
Oh,
at,
was
the,
he
at the
really?
mayor's office.
Oh, okay.
He was trying to control the crowd while the mayor was talking with Hopper.
I see.
And then he came out and he was like, "No, sorry. You know what it was? He called him. He was like, you might want to get down here."
right.
That was him.
Okay.
But he was also in something else. I think he was in House of Cards. I've never seen it, but I remember doing a little research and I was like, "Oh, this guy just works for Netflix," which is cool. Good for him. That it seems like whatever Netflix is doing, he'll have a job.
yeah.
Being
I mean, that'd be a nice gig. Just throw me wherever you want.
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, CW does that a lot, where it's just like new character on Supergirl. Who are we gonna get? Oh, let's just get woman from the what's that show I call Hellcats, and they
Okay.
just like always do that, where it's
Yeah.
just like I've been in 12 CW shows. Well, I've been in
Yeah.
11. Now I'm the Green Arrow. That was a bad example, but the Green Arrow's love interest, not Felicity, but Laurel. She is like the actress who has like been in like 15 or 20 CW shows.
Oh wow.
But anyways, that about does it for us.
Yeah.
That was Stranger Things season 3. We're not sure what next episode is going to be because we recorded this one and the Spider-Man one literally
Back to back.
the same day.
Yeah. And who knows when the next great thing is coming out? I mean, there's a ton out. Just
Right, that's
what
the
are we
thing.
gonna see
I think
next?
I think you and I are gearing up for one of those ones we teased where we just sort of brainstorm things for a video essay.
Yeah, we were gonna do that, and then
And then
every
this
great
happened.
movie ever
Yeah.
came out.
We were like, oh, it's just about time for one of those. Oh shit, Spider-Man and Stranger Things on like the same day.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, that'll do it for us.
Yeah.
I've been Thunder,
I'm Lightning.
and we'll see you next time.